Today we are working on Reader's Notebook, Lesson 17, pages 231, 232. We'll be discussing reference materials today, as well as words ending with ed and ing, and we had the similar words last week. With the reference materials today, the directions say that dictionaries and glossaries contain the meanings of phrases, as well as words. Use a print or digital dictionary to define the phrases in the box, then complete each sentence with the phrase that matches the meaning in parentheses. And we're actually going to complete this page together because I have looked through multiple online dictionaries, and finding phrases in them is not an easy search. It's not an easy task. And so I don't want you to struggle with this, but I do want to at least have a discussion about it. I'm not so stressed about whether or not you can use reference materials such as dictionaries and glossaries, as we've been doing it every week all year long with your vocabulary. Number 1 reads, they had to blank many customers. And we have to figure out what reject means. Do you think reject would mean come through, come along, sign on, turn away, turn up, come by, sign off on, turn out, make up, or turn down? When I read that, I think, okay, well, how turn away would mean to reject, right? Turn down could mean to reject. If you were applying for a job and you got rejected, they would turn down your application. And those ones both seem to fit number 1. So we are going to leave that one open, and we're going to use our process of getting through the rest and analyzing everything as we work our way down to find out which one is going to be the best fit for number 1. I'm going to leave myself a little note next to this for number 1. I'm going to put a 1 next to this and a 1 next to turn down, and that way I'll know I can look back on those and see if one is a better fit than the other. Number 2, the supervisor will blank the project when it is completed, and this one says approve. Supervisor approves something, we often say they sign off on. And so number 2 is going to be sign off on. And now we'll move to number 3. Angela wanted to blank the prize at first, and this is refuse. Well, to refuse and reject are really similar, right? But if somebody is going to refuse something, we wouldn't say they would turn it away necessarily, but turn it down. So if you were going to refuse a prize, you might turn it down. And so this is where we're going to go ahead and look up here at the 2 we were looking at before, and we're going to say, oh, turn down seems to make better sense for number 3. And number 3 we'll write turn down. Now we can go back up to number 1 where we were trying to decide if it was turn down or turn away, and we can read it again. They had to turn away many customers, reject, and that makes good sense too. So they had to turn away many customers. Now we're going to go to number 4. A good friend will blank in times of trouble, and this is to help. So a good friend will, and it's going to be come through in times of trouble. So when somebody supports you, or they come through for you. So number 4 is come through. All right, we're going to move to number 5. Did Angela blank the story of Peter's time machine, or did he really build one? And we're looking for a phrase that can mean invent. Did Angela invent it? Well, we can see that we have the word make up, right? We invent stories, make up. And so number 5 is going to be make up. We'll move to number 6. The workers were able to blank the equipment that the group needed. And we need something that says produce. So they're making something. Well, we see produce, we see turnout. And it's something that we see oftentimes like when they're talking to assembly lines, or when we're talking to manufacturing, they're turning out a product. Number 6 is the phrase turn out. And number 7 reads, Peter's time machine was starting to blank after a slow start. Progress, so it's getting better and better. What does that mean? Well, to progress, to come along. And so we have come along, which means progress for number 7. Number 8 reads, Angela decided to blank her focus on her schoolwork. Well, she needs to increase. It says we need increase. And that would be something where we would say turn up. And that means making more, right? Even if you think even in terms of volume, if you turn up the radio, you're increasing the volume. So turn up for number 8. Number 9, Peter did blank his idea for the time machine without any help. And this is get. And so when somebody gets something, we can say they come by. So Peter did come by his ideas for the time machine without getting any help. And our last one is he will blank with the company join. And when we say join, another way to say join is to sign on. And I think about that oftentimes, especially in our world where we're going to school online. We sign on to our meetings. We join our meetings. So number 10 is sign on. There's our lesson for reference materials for today. We're going to go ahead and move to page 232, and this has more words with ed or ing. And you remember that last week we also had words ending in ed and ing. It reads basic. It says basic. Write the basic word that best completes each group. So remember, that means you're only using words numbers 1 through 20 in this list. So we're working through 1 through 20 that'll fit in these 11 lines. You can go ahead and put an X through the challenge piece. We are not going to be doing the challenge. Here we're looking for words that are similar or synonyms, transferred or presented, and a word that fits with that, transferred, presented, would be the word delivered, and it's number 4 on your list, delivered. Go ahead and complete number 2 together for an extra practice, restated or retold. If you're telling somebody something again or retelling them, another way to say that is repeated. Number 20, repeated. I'm also going to look at number 10 with you because I oftentimes have questions about this one. And it says number 10, murmured or mumbled. And murmured or mumbled, we have the word whispered. Oftentimes when you're murmuring, you're talking quietly, or mumbling, it's hard to understand. So it's number 5 on your list, which is. And then the other one I wanted to look at was number 4. I have questions on that one. If somebody comments on something, it says commented or mentioned. And if somebody makes a comment or mentions something, that synonym would be the word remarked, which is number 14 on your list, remarked. All right, class, you can go ahead and finish 232 on your own. Make sure that even though I went through the entire page on 231, you take the time to write the phrases on the line. So 231 and 232, when you are finished, you can go ahead and take pictures, upload, and turn it in on Teams. Thank you.